Well, hello. I want to talk to you today about the Jinhao x750 fountain pen. Now, I like the looks of this pen. It's a metal pen just like their other pens. I don't know if they even make plastic pens. But it's kind of got this frosted black finish I like, and I like the fact that it's not all covered with the gold shiny stuff. But just a couple bands just to make it have a little personality, but it's not overdone. And even uncapped, the nib looks just nice. It does say 18 karat gold plate, although it's clearly not gold plated, but whatever. Converter pen. This has the cheaper converter that I don't like as well, but I might do some converter switching with some of the pens that I do like their converters. So this pen, I've been using it mostly with Noodler's ink. It's a Lorraine Mauve. I probably pronounced that wrong. I do not speak a word of French. Bonjour. See, I guess that's one word. But I haven't noticed with that ink that it has too many issues with drying out as it sits in the pen the way I have noticed it with some of the other Jinhaos. But that might be a function of the ink. It's one of those inks that just doesn't have the shading and things that you would notice that as easily. I wanted a special pen just for that ink because that ink does have some of its own special traits. And it's not as bad as Bay State Blue, but it does have definitely a personality. So I gave it its own dedicated cheap pen. Yes, cheap pen. Overall, I'm happy with it. The fact that it's got this frosted black finish on it makes it a lot easier to hold because I typically don't like metal grips. This one's okay. It's that frosted whatever it is makes it more comfortable. So the writing has a little personality, not a lot, but that's okay. I didn't buy a high personality ink. I'm not going to say the name of that ink because I'll just sound like sound like one now, ignoramus. But whatever. So as far as size goes on this pen, it's about the size of a Jinhao 450. I'd show you the Jinhao 450, but I've given them away. So we'll compare it to a Noodler's. Capped, Noodler's Conrad is a quarter-inch longer, approximately. Uncapped, and by the way, it is a snap cap. Uncapped, the Noodler's is a little more than a quarter-inch longer. Posted, I don't like posting this Jinhao. It doesn't seat comfortably, which I think is something I said with the 450 as well. But posted, the Jinhao is about a little better than a quarter-inch longer than the Noodler's. So that's enough of looking at the pen from the outside. Now let's see how this puppy writes. I'm going to do my writing sample, the Jinhao x750. I used an ink called Lorraine Mauve. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. I don't know hardly any French at all. But I picked this ink mostly because I hoped it would show up one of the things I don't like about most Jinhao pens, which is if you don't write with them for a few days, the ink starts to dry out and it starts much darker and then lightens up as you go along. But honestly, what I realized is that just doesn't show up on this video. So that said, somebody asked me if I could write a little bit more slowly, just writing the word flex so they can see the nib do its magic. So I'm just going to warn you, this is not a flex pen. This isn't even a soft pen. There's a little bit of line variation to it. Yes, you can flex the nib a little, but do not expect lots and lots of flex. Now holding it, I kind of like this grip. It's comfortable, it's weighted well, it snaps, the cap snaps on really nicely, so I'm all good with that. Wouldn't buy this pen again. It's just okay. For a metal pen, it's nice, but I'll tell you one good feature though. If you like to use the Noodler, not the Noodlers, the Goulet nibs, they can be fit into this. It's just a friction fit nib, and if I didn't have this full of Lorraine Mauve, or however you say that, I would show you. But since I do have it full of that ink, you'll just have to trust me. So now we'll do our little writing sample. Okay, so we'll do our quote here. So that's my quote. A little bit messy today, but I was kind of rushing there. Anyway, moral of the story here, I can't see it on the computer screen, but up here I see it's very dark. Down here it's much more purple. And that's because I think the cap just doesn't form as good of a seal as it could. But the other thing, in this pen's defense, I'll just point out up here where I first started writing, see a little bit of skipping? Now, I intentionally, because I wanted the effect to show up, I intentionally did not write with this pen since Sunday, and it is now Wednesday. So what is that, 3 days? I'm kind of tired right now. I've been digging outdoors all day. Anyway, something like that. So I'm kind of impressed. I've never had a hard start problem. It writes very smoothly. Having a hard time explaining why this pen is just a big meh to me. So, yeah, that's not bad. It's a big improvement over my experience with the X450, but it just doesn't do anything for me. And honestly, when I do my next big pen giveaway, this is going to be given away. But if you're looking for a low-cost writer that's a metal pen, and it's not bad, and swapping the goulet nibs in and out of it actually improves the writing experience quite a bit. And I've got another Jinhao I haven't reviewed yet, but it may end up being kept just for the purpose of swapping nibs. When you see the other pen, I think you'll see why. But for now, I hope this was useful, and we'll see you later.